social media coverage of Tiger's last major looks a lot different than the social media coverage of this Tiger Woods championship. And that's actually something I've been digging into this week, just because I'm fascinated with, how fast things have changed. And, in 10 years, how social has changed, and what the fan experience online looks completely different today, especially for sports fans.
Well, this notion that you wouldn't mention it until it was over, right? I mean, that's the part that I think has changed the most. Just like this premise that, oh yeah, we'll wait till the tournament's over, then we'll put it on our Facebook page. Now, of course, every single shot is played out in real time, and not just in golf and not just in sports, but in lots of parts of our lives. You got blow by blows of the Mueller report and everything else happening. So one of the things that you work with a lot of clients on, not just to convince and convert, but in general, is this idea of real time, sort of real time content, real time social. Talk about that a little bit, kind of what that means to you, and how applicable it is to businesses in a bunch of different circumstances.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like you said, it's something that I actually built a talk around, because I realized a couple years ago that I had built up my social career, not just in like sports fan moments and this brand of fan and creating one-to-one relationships, but really we were doing that by capturing that real-time aspect and accelerating it and being visible and present in every moment. And so when I think of real time, I think of it as being rapid, right? It's as it's happening or just slightly ahead. Now you have to be ahead of what's happening. You have to be prepared for the things that just might happen. If you're in sports, that means you're creating 4 GIFs for every single player on your team in case they score a goal, in case they get a home run, in case they make, in case they win the tournament. So you have to be moving as fast as that content moves, because it's not just about the content that you're creating. It's also the content that is in everybody else's newsfeed that's fighting for attention, right? So content has to be rapid. It also has to be engaging, because we can post a ton of content, but when you go back to the back end and there's no one responding, there's no one commenting, there's no one sharing or liking that content, it sucks as someone who's pouring their heart and soul into in some sort of real-time experience. There are things that you're always going to have to do because there are key messages to get across. That stuff can always be put in the can and done, but again, by preparing in advance and even rehearsing this plan and the content, then you get to look behind the scenes. Then you get to look on the wings and really see something that's different and then bring that in. But only when you are prepared can you actually have the flexibility and let your content team go and find those stories that you have room for, but you haven't like dictated yet. So and I think that's a really exciting way to use something like Instagram stories, Snapchat, Facebook stories, the things that are a little bit more behind the scenes and a little more authentic. That's a really good place to put or test that content. Then the content that works really well there, then bring it to the forefront, bring it to your Facebook page, bring it to the main feed of the Instagram account, so that the content works, it's well received. Now we can build it into that. We had to move people through kind of a funnel of fandom. And so the metrics that I look at when I'm thinking about someone not just being a customer, but being an advocate, and then being loyal and then becoming a fan, those are things like not just how much time, you could say time spent with the brand online, like consuming, but kind of quantifying all of their subscribers, all of their touch points, and almost creating some context around, okay, if they're subscribed to us on one social channel, is that is that customer look different than someone who's subscribed with us and following us on 3 channels? In higher ed, we know that a university student or a prospective university student who's connected with a university on one social channel is great, but someone who's connected on 3 social channels, not just 2, but 3 social channels specifically, is far more engaged and feels like they have a better relationship, a higher quality relationship with that school.
If you could only use one social network for the rest of your life, Lauren Teague, what would it be?
I hate this question. I just do. I think I used to say Twitter. It used to be for me Twitter hands down, because I've met best friends on Twitter. I've met I've met a ton of people on Twitter and it's a huge value for me, but I think right now I would pick Instagram because there's 3 different feeds in one, plus your messenger. So there's like actually 4 different levels of content within Instagram. You can post funny, like beautiful photos or your photos. You can take it through your day in stories and post kind of that really authentic, engaging stuff. You could become a video master and do IGTV if you have 10 minutes of things to say every day or every week. And then it's got the messaging function. So probably the only thing that it's missing for me is Facebook groups. So, but I don't think that's too far off because it's such a, groups is such a key thing to Facebook that I think they're going to have to put it in their other platforms at some point. So it's probably for me either Facebook groups because I get a lot of value in that piece of Facebook, but probably Instagram for just how much different content is there. And so it helps kind of anybody, feel comfortable on that platform.